Hi everyone, this is Paul here for the Magdalene Centre. Today I'm doing the astrology report for the week commencing the 19th of December. Now I'll be outlining some of the key aspects and transits taking place during the week and giving an explanation for what it all means. Before I do that, I just want to clarify, as I always do, that astrology doesn't control our lives. It merely gives us a way to understand what kind of themes are unfolding collectively, what kind of lessons are there for us to potentially learn from. But from there, it's up to each and every one of us to actually apply the insights and to take action where necessary in order to make things happen. Because astrology doesn't cause events to happen, it influences things much the same way the moon influences the sea to create tides, but it doesn't control the ocean, as it were, it merely influences. Likewise, astrology has an influence over the collective psyche, but it's up to each and every one of us how we choose to respond to it and what kind of actions we take, preferably guided by wisdom rather than just blind impulse. But it's up to each and every one of us to do that. Now, in terms of the aspects, I'll begin with the moon. She starts in Taurus, so this is a time for getting grounded, for slowing things down and maybe connecting with nature, and just taking things step by step and taking slow, steady steps towards the goal we may be working on. On Thursday, she'll enter Gemini, so this is a time for connecting with one another, focusing on our speech and working on active listening as well. On Saturday, she'll enter her home sign of Cancer, and on the same day, we'll have the full moon in Cancer, which I'll go into more detail in a separate video. But this is a time where you may feel that need to spend a bit more time in the home front, or just going inwards and feeling our emotions and giving them the space to flow without being swamped by them. Before on Monday, the moon will enter Leo, and this would be a time where you may feel that desire to spend time with the people, to embrace our authentic self-expression, to embrace creativity, and may have that desire for those warm social gatherings that we all need at times, and trying to engage with the world with an open heart. There's quite a lot of aspects taking place from other planets for the rest of the week, so I won't be able to go through all of them because there's too many, but the biggest change will be the Sun moving into Capricorn. Before that happens though, the Sun will first square Chiron on Wednesday, so this is a time where either on that day or on the days following we may feel old wounds of disconnection being illuminated in one way, or being pushed to see where we base our identity on these wounds rather than seeking to heal them and free ourselves of these old wounds of disconnection that lead to dysfunctional behaviour like addictions, codependency, trying to control situations rather than surrendering. But it's also looking at where do we feel like we're not worthy of that unconditional love, and we therefore engage in self-sabotaging habits that undermine that. The following day, the Sun will then trine Uranus retrograde, so we may experience sudden insights or flashes of intuition that prompt us to change our understanding of who we are, but obviously for any change to continue to propagate from there requires that we work with it rather than just have a temporary flash and then forget all about it. But this could be a time where we may experience significant change that needs to be made, or we get a deeper understanding of who we are, so it challenges our understanding of who we are, but also shows us how we can empower ourselves further. And around the same time, Pluto is going to be trine to Juno, so this aspect, Juno's in Taurus, she's retrograde at the moment, she's going to be turning direct on Sunday, so whatever insights we've learned about our most committed, like soulmate relationships, whether this be romantic partners, whether it be those deep friendships that go far beyond a casual acquaintance, or in some case teacher-guru kind of relationships, but whatever we've learned during this period we'll be asked to apply them when Juno turns direct. But this trine to Pluto brings an opportunity to achieve a deep level of connection with our closest partners, whether they be, as I said, partners, whether they be very close friends that have a deep, almost soul level connection with one another, and it allows us to achieve a deep level of connection, healing with one another. But at the end of the day, it's up to each person to work with that kind of energy to help one another out. As I was saying before, we've got the Sun moving into Capricorn on the 21st, which marks the winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere, and in the Southern Hemisphere it's the summer solstice. And the word solstice comes from an old Latin word solstitium, sol meaning sun, stitium meaning stationary. So it's a time where the sun appears to be rising and setting in the same part of the sky for about 3 consecutive days before the sun starts to the day starts to lengthen in the north and shorten in the south. But this symbolically is an opportunity for us to reflect. Capricorn is all about developing personal integrity. It's about knowing ourselves, understanding the core of our nature, and creating a public role of some sort that accommodates who we are, or allows us to channel our expression into so that we can feel comfortable or at home within the world. Because we're living behind a mask all the time, there's always that hidden fear that someone will see that we're a fraud, because we're trying to be something that we're not at the end of the day. So Capricorn is all about having that personal integrity of knowing who we are, but it's guided by everything we've learned over the past 9 months from when the Sun entered Aries at the spring equinox. So this is a time to reflect on the last 9 months of growth. What have we learned about ourselves? What has gone well? What hasn't gone well? But this is also a time where the Sun is symbolically reborn again. So this is a look at that. What can we work on, or what seeds of new beginnings do we want to start to nurture, ready for when they're planted when the Sun returns to Aries next spring? But it requires that we take that time to reflect and be honest with ourselves. Where do we live authentically, and where are we still hiding behind a mask? Where do we feel comfortable being who we are, so when someone who doesn't know us that well sees us, it's a case of what they see is what they get? And where are we still hiding, as it were? Where are we still uncomfortable showing who we are, so we still hide behind masks of some sort, where we're trying to put the best foot forward, but deep down feel insecure because we know that we're not actually being real with the other person. So, and as I said before, we have the full moon in Cancer the following day. So the moon is at home in Cancer and brings us that connection with at the core of who we are, the internal world, if you like, or the private self, whereas Capricorn is the public self. This full moon highlights immediately after solstice, where do we have the right balance between maintaining connection with the core sense of who we are and whilst also maintaining integrity in public. So this is kind of like the roots and the crown of the tree, if you like. If the roots aren't nurtured, we don't stay connected with our emotions, our dreams, our core feelings, our intuition, we can end up pursuing goals for social status and social approval rather than pursuing something that allows us to be ourselves within the world. So we're not trying to pretend to be anything we're not. Because the thing is, we can achieve plenty of success by pretending to be something that we're not, but it never brings satisfaction, because deep down we feel like a fraud because we're doing something that we know isn't actually right for who we are. So the full moon, which is also going to have trine from Uranus and square from Chiron, this will highlight to us where is there an imbalance, or where is there a disconnect between our core sense of self and what we present to the world around us. So this is a time, this particular week is important that we slow down and reflect. We go within ourselves and be honest about what have we learned about ourselves, what lessons have we encountered during the last 9 months, and where have we done well, where have we not done so well, where are we living in authenticity and integrity, and where are we still hiding behind masks. And it's also an opportunity to create or think about the kind of seeds we want to be growing next year. What goals do we want to set ourselves? What kind of area of growth do we want to pursue in life? And it will obviously be different for different people because we're all wired differently. But this is a time where it's key that we be honest with ourselves, because if we're not being honest with ourselves, then we're going to struggle to achieve that kind of growth that brings true fulfillment. Because only by being honest with ourselves and reflecting on where we've done well, where we may have struggled, that we can actually grow. Sun in Capricorn is also an opportunity for us to develop greater reserves of things like patience, self-control, and the perseverance necessary to keep pushing at a goal in the face of obstacles. Because Capricorn brings the obstacles necessary to challenge us, to get us to see where we're holding on to crutches that we don't actually need, and basically strips away all the things that we use as props to prop up our sense of our self-identity, and it gets us to stand on our own 2 feet, to rely or have faith in ourselves and faith in the ability to get things to happen. And it tests our faith at the end of the day. When the sun was in Sagittarius, it was about cultivating greater reserves of faith and optimism. Capricorn now tests it. Can we apply that faith in real life? Can we have faith in things even in the face of some kind of hardship or challenge? If we can, then our reserves of faith deepen and become much stronger in the face of any future adversities that we may face. But challenge is necessary for growth. If we never challenge ourselves, we keep ourselves in a holding pattern and we don't grow. So there's quite a lot to take on board this week, but I hope this useful guide for the week, and I hope it brings you many insights. But as I said, it's key for us all this week to reflect on ourselves, on what's happened in the last 9 months, see who we are now versus who we were back then, celebrate where we've grown, and gain wisdom from where we've struggled or where things haven't gone to plan, and recognise what we can learn from it rather than beating ourselves up about it. Because through that we can gain wisdom through practical experience, and we know where we need to make changes next time round if we choose to pursue the same goal but doing it in a slightly different way. So may the next week bring you many blessings. Take care.